Everyone thinks that we're perfect. Dollhouse. Right, I'm just gonna close my door. Call me if you need me, okay? Love you. Okay, guys, so you may be thinking when you first clicked on, what is this? What am I listening to? So my daughter is currently in the bathroom. I am about to sit down and do a reading, and I have intended to do this reading all year, but all week, because this week it's going to be Summerwells' 4 years anniversary, and I can't believe I'm even saying that. I remember the day she went missing. I remember seeing her face for the first time and burning up. Whew. And I just remember that instinct connection that this girl needs justice. I seen her little face and all the pain. It's like I almost seen it. I see things that nobody else sees. So Summer was a psychic child. The reason I started recording was because it hit me that I actually channeled that exact song my daughter was singing when doing a reading on Don Wells, Summer's father. You can find all of my previous true crime readings on Summer and other cases in my true crime playlist. So make sure to check it out if you're interested. And I channeled that song during a reading for Don Wells. It was a very revealing reading, but it was just confirming to us what I think we already knew or at least suspected. So I've been feeling called to read on Summer all week, like I said, and I've been called to channel through Lilith. I don't know if many of you are familiar with Lilith, but this is the sigil of Lilith, and Lilith is what's known as the first woman in Jewish mythology, and I came across her story a few years ago. Lilith actually came to me in the form of a channeled song. I'm a songwriter, and I wrote about her and I wrote her name, and it was only after I found the story and the true story, because she is demonized as someone who does not care about women and children, but the opposite is actually true. So this has been inverted, and even in some of the clips or the pictures I'm going to put on the screen for you, you will see that people have rediscovered Lilith, reimagined her story, and reclaimed her as a feminist icon, and an icon that actually serves, protects women and children. That's why I feel called to channel through Lilith today for Summerwells, and I want to just get Summer's story out on the table, and I would like any insight that the Divine Mother Lilith can bring us, because I feel like Lilith is protecting Summer wherever she is, because she was not protected. And I was channeling a few songs that were relating in my mind to this reading, the Summerwells case. One was GUY, Lady Gaga, and I screenshotted a comment that I seen earlier on today because it was playing through on my playlist. And I seen the comment and I laughed, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll have to channel again through Lilith soon. I've channeled through Lilith in previous videos, picket cards, and that was my calling to call to Lilith today. And with Summerwells in mind, it occurred to me that she wants to help bring justice and freedom to Summerwells, because Summer did not have the opportunity to speak for herself, to free herself. She was trapped, and Lilith refused to be submissive, to be dominated. And she represents freedom, justice, empowerment. And I feel like she has been calling me to come through today for Summer. And one of Lilith's sigils is the moon, and Summer's name is Summer Moon Utah Wells. That was yet another confirmation for me. Also, I asked for the heads or tails, and I used this coin. I got the heads, and this represents a Lilith energy. She would not submit, hence why the comment read, Lilith, it does not apply to this song, because she does not want to be underneath anyone. She refused. So I got the head to my confirmation that Lilith is on top, and she wants to help me with this reading, as it is a very heavy energy. So trigger warning for anyone, just in case what I suspect may come out. But when I flip the coin, what I see is RF. It says fraternity. So what's sticking out to me with fraternity is that there may be corrupt people, a fraternity, brotherhood, nearly cult-like energy. And this is always picked up around the Summerwells case. And also liberty, or liberté, however it's meant to be pronounced here. But yeah, that's exactly what Lilith stands for. She stands up for women. She does not submit to the patriarchy or to these roles. And I feel like Lilith wants to come through and help me speak up for Summer. So let me just take a moment. I will call for Lilith in my head and do her chant. Lilith, can we please call forth the energy of Summerwells? And can we please reveal what needs to be revealed here today in this reading? It will be 4 years since Summer has went missing, and we want clarity, insight, justice, and anything that we may not already know. Another confirmation from Lilith before I started, I was using these cards, and back a deck, take the lead. So this is the energy taking the lead. Someone has to stand up for Summer. And when it comes to the truth, it ain't gonna find itself. So that's our job here today. So I'm just gonna go where Spirit leads me and see where we end up. What I want to do is start with the childhood oracle. I only got these yesterday, I believe. So far, so good. I want to see how they work through a channeled reading. So Lilith, I call forth your energy. Please give us any insight into what happened to Summerwells and why we have failure. Wow, I just noticed. That looks like one of Summerwells' brothers. We also have a policeman here in the background. We have a little girl who is giving out to the boy. And we have a disaster, a failure here with a pram overturned and a vehicle. So I feel like Summer was brought somewhere in a vehicle and brought to a place where innocence was overturned. But I feel like there wasn't much there to begin with. Unfortunately, we have waiting. Yeah. So someone could have been waiting, and this was set up for the day at hand. So Lilith, please give us the factors behind the disappearance of Summerwells on the 15th of June 2021. This wants to come. Can we get 3, please? The disappearance of Summerwells. Failure again. So something was a failure. Maybe this was a plan B. Was this tried and tested before? The factors behind Summerwells' disappearance. We have confidence. Okay. Also uncertainty. And this child looks very scared and unsure of what's going on around him. Let's see. This is trouble. Wow. Okay. So let's look at these pictures here. We have slow school crossing. So something had to be stopped, slowed down before Summer went to school. This is a mother carrying groceries. Interestingly enough, Candace did say that on that day she was bringing in and putting away her groceries, and she took her eyes off Summer for a minute and she just got gone. Mama wasn't watching, and I feel like the kids were well used to entertaining themselves. They'd get into trouble, they'd find fun anywhere, because lively, adventurous kids, they'd always find ways of making mischief. And yeah, Mama was not watching Summer, like she said. She was busy, distracted with other things. This is like the boy calling someone in. So did someone drive into the driveway and one of the boys said hi? It was someone maybe they recognized. But I feel like if any of the boys seen who this was, it was maybe only one of them. The rest of them were blissfully unaware. With confidence here, there's a blonde little girl and a little boy here. And she's trying to feel his muscle, and he wants to be like this up here. So like father, like son, there's a dog looking at the lion. So it's like someone is making themselves out to be more competent, more brave than they really were. Someone was trying to impress Summer, and it's like she was brought to the lion's den, essentially, is what I'm picking up. We also have apprenticeship here. So was there an older man involved? First aid, and something about an injury to the head. There's something up here in the window, but I'm not sure what it is. A lighthouse could be significant. The dog has a bump on his head too. Okay, it's making me think of a scene, weirdly enough, of Mice and Men. And in this scene, the man and his dog, the loyal companion, he has to put down his dog, and it's obviously a very hard moment for him, but it's like a necessary sacrifice. So, a necessary sacrifice. And even if Summer was lured away, I feel like she was uncertain when it came down to it. Okay, so let's jump into the True Crime Oracle. Okay, let me just make some space over here. So, Lilith, can you please tell us exactly what happened to Summer Moon Utah Wells, please and thank you. I feel drawn to cohere, fire, legal proceedings. Okay, let's see. There's no smoke without fire, is what I'm hearing. Again, apologies for my bad shuffling. I will improve with time. So with apprenticeship, something or someone will improve with time. Lilith, what happened to Summerwells? This bracelet is very noisy, but it's nice. Chains, cuffs. I don't know why I feel drawn to show you, but something about restrained with chains and cuffs. Thank you, Lilith. What happened to Summerwells? Whoa. Lord, oh my God, and look what flipped. Thank you, Lilith. It takes one to know one, is what she's saying. She's got a bad rap, but she really is. Yeah, something was faked, a chameleon, but I don't think Summer's death was faked. It was kind of just performative, is what I want to say. So let's see. This wants to fall again. So yeah, something was restrained, so something wouldn't fall. Someone doesn't want their shady, dirty dealings. Okay, let me just move. Yeah, it's like someone was tampering with someone, tampering with devices, technology. Okay, so that wants to stay. Ooh. Slippery energy, indeed. Tell the truth and shame the devil is what I feel. Whoa. Now, look, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the position of this. A position was tampered with, readjusted. Okay. Now, okay. These just all want to come. I kid you not. We're not going to take them all, though. We're going to see what's on the table. So what's on the table? Who's on the table? Like a piece of meat? Whew, okay. So background energy, gift, a parcel. Summer was brought somewhere in a car, alive, with fake death, like a parcel, a live parcel, live action. I'm thinking of like live cams. Okay, right. So we have devil. There's a devil in the dollhouse. Dollhouse, Melanie Martinez, that song I was singing at the start. Power, supply, supply and demand. There's no supply without a demand. A female. There is a female who is complicit, who is nearly impressed with this. We have fake death again. We also have strangulation, homicide. So, you know what's interesting? My throat has been acting up. And to me, what has usually come out in the energies and just what I feel in my soul and what the likes of Reverend Donna has confirmed in her readings. Summer was stabbed, and I'm thinking of a song, Striptease by FKA Twigs. Something about in the sternum, right in the sternum. Watch me flow, watch the blood flow. Something about in maybe through the heart, the chest, you know, the ribs, kind of a thing. There was blood. With strangulation, there's usually not blood. So to me, this is confirming the ropes. If it wasn't a rope, it was a chain. If it wasn't cuffs, it was something else. It was cable ties. Something was performative. There literally could have been devil worship, and blood was spilled. A sacrifice had to be made. A gift was presented. And someone thinks of themselves as the devil themselves, but they're a chameleon. They can blend in to society. This keeps the supply and demand going. So yeah, a gift. We have the fire again. Organized crime. So this is a criminal organization, and there are many people in this organization. Neighborhood. So it goes near and far through the neighborhood. Imprisonment, greed, travel. We can read all this backwards. Summer could be in a wooded area, dark, enclosed, trapped, legal proceedings. So at this point, unless the remains are actually found, Summer's remains, it seems unlikely. We also have dismemberment. So she could have been moved around. She could have been dismembered. Natural disaster, there's the power lines. But the floodgates cannot open, because then everybody drowns. An eye for an eye would leave everybody blind, especially in this neighborhood that we're talking about. Okay, so there is a song by The Neighborhood. Is it called Daddy's Daughter, Daddy's Girl? I can't remember the lyrics in it. I remember it just used to get recommended to me a lot many years ago, but it's coming up now. and maybe the lyrics could be significant. I will post them here. Have a listen. Let me know what you think. And we are going to move on from what happened to what we need to know now about the case. What is currently going on in the Summerwells case? Please and thank you. Okay, beauty, youth, innocence, with the flowers around, innocence gone, innocence lost. I'm hearing it's innocence lost. What's that song? The Land of Gods and Monsters? Gods and Monsters, Lana Del Rey. And in the land of gods and monsters, there's plenty of devils too. Okay, whoa. I was hearing when doves cry. The second verse, touch if you will my stomach. Something about the stomach. Okay. Eerie. What's going on currently around the case of Summer Moon, Utah Wells? Please and thank you. Air. So exchange of life-bringing energies. So supply, demand, exchange, gifts, parcels. So earthly spirituality, community. Yeah. And this is a mother and a child, a return. Something was returned, could not be returned. Beauty, innocence. That's what gives them air. That's their supply. Wave of power, yeah. Upswing in energy, exhilarating movement. So this was for power, control, and dominance, and to bring energy towards, darker forces. And there are numerous people involved in this. This could be a trade, a trafficking trade, and it could go online, in real life, in the dark web. There's no limits or depths that these murky waters won't go, is what I feel compelled to say. The Selkie and her skin, reclaiming your authenticity. And when this card has come up before in true crime readings, it has led me to think of baby seals being clubbed, as graphic as that is, because it's a sport. So something about this is a sport. This is for thrill, exhilarating movement, but it's also for power to harvest and harness the energy supply. And with the devil here, this could also give kind of adrenochrome kind of energy. So we're going to move on to, I'll bring the dictionary out. We'll use that at the end. We're going to move on to the Mystic Love Oracle. And we will use the Black Cat energy, because if anyone represents Black Cat energy, it's Lilith herself. Does someone have a lisp or, stutter with the THs? Travel. Yeah, so she was brought somewhere. And the mountains, the hills have eyes. Is what I'm getting, is there cannibalism involved? This is inner growth. So yeah, this is like lower power, lower frequency, hookup, one night stand. And I do feel like there was also a demand and a supply. I feel like poor Summer just never had a chance to be free. And this is why Lilith really wanted to come through for Summer's anniversary reading. So Lilith, what do we need to know about the Summerwells case? What does Summer want us to know? Please and thank you. Compromise, making changes, condensation in a car, text message, unsent messages. So messages were sent, deleted, so it couldn't be tracked. What do we need to know about the Summerwells case? Call, hearing from them. So yeah, a text message was sent, but it was deleted, and something to do with technology. So maybe what happened to Summer, there is proof, there's evidence on technology about what happened. Spiritual awakening, realizations. So the hills, the mountains, the water, but this is for spiritual reasons. And not all spirituality is the light kind, the right kind. We have gambling, taking a chance. So money, demand, supply, anxiety, worry in reverse. Player, strategic in reverse. Divine timing and fears, afraid. So she was brought somewhere. She was afraid. Maybe something was locked. But this is telling me that someone may have planned this, or many may have planned this, you know. But this ultimately was a risk, and they didn't plan ahead for so long in the future. So it might work now, but it's not going to remain that way, because with divine timing, I feel like this game will be over. This is game over, is what I'm getting. And with gambling, it does make me think of money and exchanges and all sorts of seedy things. And I do feel like Summer was scared, and it's like, don't worry, you'll be fine. But you're led straight to the lion's den. It's like a lamb being led straight to the slaughter. Its innocence lost. Gods and monsters again. Thank you, Lilith, for coming through with these messages. Let's try my new deck, the Real Life Tarot deck, and see what messages we can pull for Summerwells, the Magician, magic happenings. And what is this? An explosion. So maybe something will be coming to an end, an explosion. Hopefully this case. The energy around Summerwells. What do we need to know about who did this? Who did this, Lilith? Yeah, look. I was talking about a sternum and a stomach. A man did this, but I do feel like there were women who knew about this or were even involved, because as they say, the only thing more dangerous than a dangerous sick man is a dangerous sick woman. And there is a woman here who is both. And Candace too, but that's not who I'm talking about. Too many cats in reverse. Someone wanted to relieve their burdens, their problems. Too many mouths to feed. Give me the money instead. The Magician in reverse. The stand-up in reverse. So it is giving performative, but it's not funny. It's tragic. It's not magic. It's tragic. And someone is a magician. Someone likes to dress up. This is giving David Dotson energy. The ghost in reverse. So I feel like someone's past is going to come back and haunt them. They thought, look, there's the money card. Does someone's name begin with S? This says shitcoin, blockchain, a chain. So yeah, a chain of events. This is a chain, a ring, a circle. And it's all about the money. So where did the money go that was exchanged for Summer? The LARPer in reverse. And this is someone who dresses up and acts out their fantasies. So this is someone who does dress up with the Magician here and the LARPer, but this is them making their fantasies a reality. Okay. And here we go again. Let me give this another shuffle just to make sure we're getting all the energy in. Look, danger. Someone's wearing a mask. Was someone wearing a mask when this happened with a sword in hand, acting the part? And instead of acting the part, it's like they became the devil incarnate. Were they channeling the devil? Danger. And look, black and white, Freemasonry, ashtrays overflowing in. Ashtrays overflowing? Yeah, well, it is, but cigarettes overflowing. Smoke. There's no smoke without fire. Lilith, what else can you tell us about who is involved or who knows what happened? This is the landlord in reverse. So that's interesting because this landlord looks like the devil himself. And there's that chest, sternum, stomach energy again. In reverse, the opposite of a landlord to me would be the tenant. The tenant, someone was renting something. So does someone own this property, or are they renting a property that she was taken to where this dress up fantasy / reality happened? There could be physical technology evidence of this. The poster in reverse, to me, this is telling me that someone did not post. But just because it's not posted doesn't mean it's not there. And just because there's no evidence doesn't mean it didn't happen. What it means is that evidence hasn't been found. It's been burned. That's where the fire could come. The revolving door, used and abused, and different people coming in and out. Was this like a theater building, a regal sort of place? What is this? The holier than thou. So who acts holier than thou? The church, STA, could be involved. Someone who acts holier than thou, but really isn't. So don't believe everything you see. And there's some things you actually have to see it to believe it. The truth is stranger than fiction, is what I am called to say. So let's get the Yin Yang oracle. It says Lilith design, so I feel like Lilith will appreciate that. And then we'll get a few black cat oracles and close off with the dictionary. So Lilith, closed off, guarded, resistance. So someone's a smoker, self-love, intentions, creation. So yeah, this was like a creative venture, all for the pursuit of power. So it's giving heavy, occult, and this is annoying me. Let me put this up here. Put this up here with something put up somewhere. With something tied around the arms. Yeah, that'd leave marks. Ligature marks. What do we need to know about Summerwells and her energy right now? Fate, detours, divine intervention. So there's been detours, but this will crash and burn the family tree. The fucked up family tree will crash and burn. I'm hearing Troy by Sinead O'Connor, also Fire and Babylon. And yeah, another sign from Lilith that I got earlier was when I looked it up, it said Lilith was from the Sumeria or Sumero to Babylonian era, and it did make me think of the song Fire and Babylon by Sinead O'Connor, and also the song Troy, which is about issues with her mother. So I do feel like Summer's mother was no kind of mother to her. There's also change, courage in reverse. Someone didn't have the courage to leave. Control tactics, power, control, dominance. And there's plenty of people when it comes to this demand and supply. It's making me think of, I don't know. I remember years ago, I was appalled to hear there was some sort of weird fetish going around of people, women in high heels, standing on little chicks, little small animals, kittens. Ugh. it's beyond thinking about. It's unbearable. But Lilith is saying, look at this, face it. This happens. People kill helpless, smaller, innocent creatures all the time. Lambs to slaughter. It happens to people too. It happened to Summer. This was like a sick thrill, but it was like a snuff video. Fetishes, dress up, devil worshipping, and demand and supply and money. This makes or made a lot of money. These people could have a lot of money because this looks like a fancy place. People have friends in high places. Yeah, and look, creation, self-love in reverse. So they didn't love on Summer, that's for sure. Present, abundant, gratitude. So be grateful for the present moment. Summer was presented as a gift. The sacrificial lamb, integration, union, and she was separated from herself, from the 3D. Okay, and finally, let's get the Black Cat oracle. So let's get these channeled messages directly from Lilith herself. This is the back of deck, and it says greedy. Greedy has come up before, and it came up in the true crime card. So these people were greedy. They wanted to have their cake and eat it. They wanted more, demand and supply. And yeah, this is not stuff that you can just get easily. You have to know the right people. Who are the right people? So yeah, somebody is greedy. Lilith, what do you have to say about the Summer Moon Utah Wells case? What do you have to say about the case? Whoa, so a few things have tried to jump out. Okay, we'll see. We'll take what falls. So, peeping Tom. Is that Dawn? Yeah. Katsu. Yeah. Men in suits. Men in black. Affectionate. That like little girls. And that wanted to make them cry, like Reverend Donna said. And look, a diner in reverse. So is there cannibalism as well as devil worship, catcall, flirting, distaste? So what happened was very distasteful, not for the faint of heart. And with the diner in reverse, like, this is sick and twisted energy. Psychocat, that's a knife with blood. Look, there's a stab right in the stomach, down here and up here. So there could have been a head wound, a stomach wound, chest wound. And I do feel like even before her disappearance, she was being taken advantage of in many ways by Dawn, by maybe many others. Takes one to know, and there's plenty of them in the neighborhood. And my throat is really itchy. Lazy in reverse. Someone was working hard to keep this covered. And greedy, needy, loyal as a dog. So someone's loyal to the game because they don't want this to be game over. It makes too much money presently. So men in suits, men with power and wealth. So who are these men? Who are these men? Determination. Lilith is determined to help, and when Lilith wants to do something, there's no stopping her. Affectionate. I feel like this is her energy towards Summer. She didn't get that loyalty or affection from anyone else. She was treated like a dog. Worse than a dog. Whew. This is not an easy message. Finally, Lilith, Summer. Can we get some closing keywords for this reading, please and thank you? Okay. Knee, kneel. Knit, knight, a knight in shining armor. They carry swords, boisterous, batter, knock down. So I feel like maybe Summer was knocked out during, after the murder. That's what it is. Finish quickly. So something had to be finished quickly. Kill. She was killed, resulting from a previous action. A knock-on effect. Strike unconscious. Eliminate. A blow. Knock up. This is giving SA energy. Small rounded hill, a mound. So she could be around a mound. And no. Many people know. Recognize. So was someone trying to hide their face, their identity? Were they wearing a mask? I think Donna actually did say something about mask. Knowledgeable. Someone who has a lot of spiritual knowledge and maybe is respected in the community. Kung Fu. Someone could be good at that. We have a gold coin, money. We also have citadel. Government. Someone could be involved in the government and be servile too. These people want to take advantage of Summer. A knife. A knife was used. Thank you for the confirmation. Who is on the knee? Who are you worshipping? These people are knaves. They're not knights. Maybe it had to be finished quickly because she was crying, because I was hearing Hound Dog by Elvis. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Someone wanted to stop the crying even though they wanted the crying. Otherworldly. Summer's in the 3D now, an ounce. Things are being weighed out, distributed, taken, demand, supply, drugs, Ouija. I feel like this is confirming to us that the spirits have spoken to us, because there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and that is just that. That's just one way. And oust, expel, eject, out. Summer's life was extinguished on her light. This was calculated. We have orthodox. Someone has very orthodox views, values. Dentistry. Someone could be a dentist. Was Robin Lane a dentist? Orphan. Poor little orphan girl. Little match girl. Origin. Ancestry. So this is where the source is. This shit could run in the family. We also have bone deformities. So someone could have a bone deformity of some sort. And we also have osmosis, a parent, an osprey, a sea eagle. This came out in the Lily and Jack case, the first reading I've done, and a few readings since. So I feel like Jack and Lily have a very similar story to Summerwells. So Lilith is just bringing awareness to Jack and Lily. They are also still missing. And what else do we have? Outback. Yeah. She was brought out back, wherever that was. It's like she went to a few different places. There's a few different points of interest in outhouse. And that's making me think of a slaughterhouse, an abattoir. She was like a lamb brought to slaughter, innocence lost, outlaw. These people could have criminal records, or some of them at least. We have outdated, protest. She cried, she protested. This was the result. Outclass. People of all different classes are involved in this. Outre, exaggerated, in bad taste. So Summer was literally served as an outre. Violation, rape. I do feel like this is confirming that this was happening to Summer before and after she was disappeared, after she got gone. Summer never had a chance. Outrider. I'm also hearing Ride. Lana Del Rey. outside. She is outside, outsides, outskirts of something, maybe. Of maybe someone's family land, outspoken, frank, and output. Yeah. So there was an input and output, a demand and a supply, and something is out of date. Someone wanted to get her out of the way, outmaneuver. Someone thinks they're outsmarting authorities, but they can't outlast them forever. And I seen something about gaze, steady, outstare. People were watching. People get off on watching. So there are the doers and there are the watchers, the creators and the consumers. So demand and supply outburst. Outcast, this is someone's outlet. And something about an outfit, organization, a working group. Final message before we go, as this has gone on very long. Policy, police are involved. Look, thank you for the confirmation, Lilith and Summer. Getting a shiver down my spine. Someone's spine. Pole axe, butchers, slaughtering axe. I'm sorry about the extreme graphic nature of my words, but this is just words. This was captured on film. This is what gets these people excited. They belong in an asylum. People in politics and the police are involved in this ring. And poker. This is giving gambling energy again. And this is a very polarizing case. We also have remove top to Paul. Prepare, remove horns of cattle, preparing them to stop them from fighting back. So something was done to stop her fighting back, and this was like her being prepared for the slaughter too. Poltergeist, ghostly, occult-like energy. There were several people, people could be involved in polyamory, polygamy, many subjects, syllables, symbols I'm hearing. Look at the symbols. We also have a sword held knife energy again. Strike repeatedly, pound with fists. She was beaten. Everything that could have been done was done. A pond could be nearby. And ponder, something was heavy. Act as a bishop. Is a bishop significant? Many coloured. I feel like there's people of all races, all shapes, sizes, nationalities, classes, occupations. This shit goes deep. Murky waters run deep. And Lilith is saying if they're all involved in this cover-up and all these people have skin in the game, all these people aren't going to want, to speak or for Summer to be found. So you have to start at square one and strike the weak links first. Start with the weak and work your way up, because Lilith is nothing if not dastardly when she needs to be, when she's got a bone to pick. And what Lilith hates is men or anyone who hurts women and children and expect them to obey and submit. So for them to finally get their taste of their own medicine, their chains, we need to find the weak links and go from there. Yeah. So Lilith is saying, play dirty, fight dirty, keep digging the information. The truth won't find itself, but be careful, because this is a chess game. This is the long game we're playing, is what Lilith is saying. But divine timing is coming for Summer, because Summer is loved beyond what words can say. And the people who hurt her will finally have the day where there will be a price to pay. And this time it won't be at Summer's expense. So I feel like this is the closing message that Lilith and Summer wanted to bring forth in this reading today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I really appreciate your time and your energy. If you would like to see more Summerwells readings, you can find those in my True Crime Tarot playlist. If you'd like to see more channeled Lilith readings, there are a few Lilith videos in my Pick a Card playlist. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe to stay updated for the latest videos. If you have any more questions or suggestions, let me know down below. What did you make of these cards? What do you think happened to Summer? Who do you think is involved? And how do you think they're gonna go down? That is the question. And all we can do is pray and hope and wait and see justice take its course. Because karma is a bitch, and so is Lilith when she's crossed. So, hey, maybe she'll find a way for this price to be paid too. You never know. Let's put the energy out there. And final closing message from Lilith. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. A cat? A cat. Someone definitely has a lisp or, stutters with the TH, so that's a clue. And yeah, start there. Start with the small clues, and that leads us to the bigger picture, the bigger circle. So we're zoning in, we're circling in, and we're tuning in. And I hope to see and connect with you all again in the next one. Goodbye. Mwah.